Boy, how have we been spending our last moments thinking about the one video game from the last decade that we would save. That's our hypothetical question for today's video. If all of the video games from the last decade were going to be destroyed and you could only save one, which would you choose? This was a tough one, but not that tough. Come on, guys. It could only be The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's not just the best game of the last decade. It's the best video game ever made. It's the best game made to date.
Bob? She's not an item, Bob.
What the hell is happening? Hello! I've been thinking about my game that I would like to save and take into the space arc that I've been promised. I will get a trip on, apparently. I thought about racing games. Obviously, I love my racing games. I think Forza Horizon 4 as the kind of realisation of all the stuff they were kind of going for in that series.
He's enjoying it so much.
Yeah. But I did not choose it. The world I love spending more time in is the world of Dark Souls, yeah.
When Ellen and Luke came to me and said, Jane, you have one game that you can rescue from the flames, or however the world is going to end in 2020, as assuredly it must, I said, well, guys, it has to be Mass Effect 2, because obviously it's Mass Effect 2. Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is my perfect role-playing game, power fantasy. It combines my favourite fictional genre, science fiction and space opera, with my favourite game genre, which is heavily story-based role-playing games with boyfriends.
I have a lot of honourable mentions. Rise of the Tomb Raider, the entire Dishonored series, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn, Batman Arkham City, I'd say Arkham Asylum, but that was in the previous decade. Don't you feel old? Now, it was very, very difficult for me to choose, hence all the honourable mentions. It was down to the wire right at the end between this and Dishonored 2, but ultimately, it has to be Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning that I saved from the apocalypse.
I knew it.
So we're off on a space arc, is it? Well, I'll definitely need my copy of Red Dead Redemption, and also Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm lumping them together because technically it's one story. It's basically one long game because you.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Well, all right, so it'll probably be Red Dead Redemption 1 then, because that was the first one, and the best one. I don't know if Red Dead Redemption 1 is the best game of the last 10 years, or the best reviewed game of the last 10 years, but it's, for me, I think it's probably the game I've enjoyed playing the most in the last 10 years, and the game that I sort of invested myself in most in the last 10 years. And I think a lot of that is down to the world and the characters and the story.
Are you her husband?
Keep that bastard pirate away from me.
So those were the 5 games from the last decade that we would save in the oncoming 2020 apocalypse. It's happening, people. Get prepared. It's all going down, but what games would you save? Let us know in the comments down below. Are there any that you would agree with us on? Let us know if you will help us carry that very heavy disc onto the spaceship. And subscribe if you like this video. Bye!